I'm not bragging, but some of the greatest athletes in the world, like Kendrick Ferris, is 100% vegan. He's a male weightlifter, Team USA, breaking records. Strong, powerful. Yes, you can be. Blood doesn't lie. I've been looking at blood under a high-powered microscope for a better part of 45 years. I'm a highly trained blood hematology expert, and I take a microscope with me to most conventions, and I test as many people as I possibly can. Even in my office in a private session, you can come in and get evaluated and tested. And I'm training technicians and people who are passionate about their health, because nothing better than showing people their blood while at the same time you measure their triglycerides and glucose and their white blood cells, their immune system, to design a personalized nutrition program for them. This is the wave of the future, although it is a little bit labor intensive because it takes a good 30 minutes to test someone's blood and explain it to them. We can also see, full disclosure, what's called oxidative stress. And this is not yet, quote, approved by some of the medical community, but we've been cross-referencing this test with lipid peroxidase and Genova labs and other labs. We're able to see the true effect of oil and fat in the diet. This was the most convincing thing I've ever seen. You see, one day I created a video called How to Become Diabetic in 6 Hours. Chef AJ found out about me because they were sharing this video and it was going viral. And what I did was I eat a clean potato, rice, fruit, vegetable diet. I then drank a glass of oil. I knew from Dr. Myra Friedman's studies that he had firemen drink a glass of heavy cream and then oil. And sure enough, within hours, the fat rolls into the bloodstream. Under a microscope, you can see it, particularly under the blood vessels in the eye. But in the general circulation, you generally, if you have the ability to see this, I take a drop from blood and then cross-reference it with your triglycerides to be sure I'm accurate and correct. But somewhere over 200 triglyceride or higher, the blood clumps together at the top. It's called rouleau, stack of coins. And this sticking to the blood means that red blood cells can't get through the smallest capillaries except for one by one. Naturally, that's how they do it. And they bend backwards to exchange their oxygen and nutrients. But if you have fat coating your blood cells from even eating an Indian menu recipe that's loaded with oil, or going to a Greek restaurant with olive oil, this is terrible for your circulation. I go to Greek restaurants, and some of them, I've convinced them to make the falafel garbanzo beans, not fried, but I get them to bake it on the oven. Wow. Isn't that amazing? When I go to Indian restaurants, I have a few Indian restaurants, I say, prepare this with little or no oil. And they're doing that for me. You can do that in your own life. So you want to increase your heart rate. You want to increase your energy. Nathan Pritikin once described a high oil, fatty, animal meat-based cheese diet as lipotoxemia, fat poisoning. And the truth is, sure, one meal won't harm you per se, but meal after meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, that's why these people are all having to fast on a narrow window. They're fasting because they have so much grease and fat in their blood. I rarely have to fast because I'm always on a plant-based, whole food, oil-free diet. It's like as if I'm fasting naturally, getting the nutrients I need without clumping up my blood. Do you follow that, folks? Stop using olive oil. I don't care if it's virgin olive oil. It's worse than sugar. It has more calories. It's more greasy and fatty. It is horrible. So here it is. Here's the 7 pillars of health. I know you've been sitting at the edge. You want to know what I'm teaching in disease hacking in my weekly classes I hold on Wednesday. Now we're going to be offering Monday night, I believe, but Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. via Zoom link. For those of you who enroll and apply for coaching at fromthedoctors.com, I will be Zooming in every week and teaching you, along with other experts and teachers, how to enhance your health, your relationships, and career. Think about it, folks. If you don't have your health, your relationship's going to deteriorate. If you're in a wheelchair and disabled, or you have arthritis, or you have cancer or heart disease, you've got to get your health in order. So your relationships are critical to your hormone levels and quality of life. What about your career? You have to have the energy to perform and be your best. So everyone wants a better health, better relationships, better career, don't we? Of course. So here's the pillars of health. Number 1, nutrition, plant-based, oil-free, sugar-free diet. Absolutely essential. I have created a number of cookbooks, and I am proud to say that Dr. John McDougall, Joel Fuhrman, and a number of other plant-based doctors, we've all agreed that oil-free cooking is appropriate and necessary. So my current book, Simply Healthy Cookbook, 243 recipes. You're going to love it as part of my training in the coaching. So If you're interested in living a longer, better quality life, or you want the original cookbook, please check this out. Fitness. I talked about fitness and I mentioned about the 12-minute workout. Let me tell you about 3 other forms of exercise that must be included every week. I found what's called flow training. Flow training is at least 60 minutes long. It can go up to 90 minutes. You go up to about 40 to 60% of your maximum ability to lift weights, if you like weightlifting or running or jogging. And you do it continuous with little or no rest for the entire 60 minutes. In this case, if I curl and press and I change to rows and I jump over to shoulder presses and then squats, I do it continuous for a full hour. Now, I'm not adding the eccentric contraction. I'm doing it through the concentric, eccentric, and I'm going at a pace that I can flow continuous. But you must do this at least 3 times a week. So at the end of my 12-minute workout, about every other day or so, I will do my curl and press and my routine for about an hour with my heart rate cruising along at about 120, 130 or so. By building that base, my body gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's really critical because then I have functional ability. And third exercise is yoga, stretch like exercises. In my book, I've included the best types of exercises, the stretches. Peter Gaskew, who I met at Tony Robbins event, he's got a good set in his book, Pain Free. But fitness requires 3 forms of exercise. Hormone guide. We're going to guide you. Just go to hormoneguide.com. And we're going to guide you what your hormone level should be. How can you get the levels that I have? I'm going to reveal that here in a little bit more detail. Behavior, mind, love, and you need those scripts, those guidelines, the courses. It's going to guide you. I'm going to go through a process if you want me to during the question and answer. Detox. What are the best detox? A high fiber diet, at least 60 to 100 grams of fiber a day, cleanses the intestines of harmful estrogens, of excess fats and chemicals and toxins. Classic study, Dr. Dennis Burkitt reported that he had one group of animals that ate a very high fiber diet. He exposed them to a very lethal poison and 100% of the animals survived. The other group of animals he exposed to this lethal poison with no added fiber in the diet, and 100% of the animals died. Fiber is critical, not only to the gut health, but to detoxification. Also, detoxification requires a mini trampoline, jumping on a trampoline. It requires fast running or fast-paced exercises with little or no rest. That stimulates the lymphatics because the lymphatic system has no heart to pump it. It's dependent on your physical activity. So again, at least the 12 minutes, the flow exercise 60 minutes, or yoga, it usually takes about an hour. All these things are very wonderful, but I also use a far infrared relaxed sauna spa. In our treatment center in Corona, California, people jump in that. We're just setting that up now. In Costa Mesa, California, here, I already have this sauna set up. And you sit and detox while your feet are in an energy medicine bath, where it's soaking your feet with this, what's called Jing Orb. You've heard of Qi, which is a high level energy. Jing Orb is even higher level of energy, and it energizes the body, much like PEMF, pulse electromagnetic frequency. I'm a big believer in energy medicine since I've been working with autistic children, which is my big passion to help children with autism. I've helped a number of children. Unfortunately, my son Lance was born nearly 36 years ago with a brain condition due to, I believe, an inclusion of RH factor injection. And so I'm really concerned. There's some good work by Ryan Kaufman of Sunrise America. There's some other work. So I'm always looking for the best things to help kids to detoxify, because toxins mess up the brain and brain fog. We used to have only 1 in 1,000 kids with autism. Now we have 1 in 8 boys, probably about 1 in 20 girls. And so this toxins, these chemicals in our environment are so horrendous. They affect brain function. So we must detox if we're going to live longer and better quality life. And I already mentioned sleep. You need 8 hours sleep without an alarm. I have some supplements called Sleep Mood that will help with that. And then the final pillar of health is advanced therapeutics. Yes, that's what Tony Robbins was talking about when he shared about stem cells. I have in my book manual for doctors the stem cells for joint fitness. I use stem cells for anti-aging. I've probably had more stem cell treatments than anyone on the planet. I have stem cells for anti-aging. I've had it for 2 injuries. I recovered from a horrible injury with my gastrocnemius, the soleus in my leg, and I couldn't walk. And 6 months I could not rehabilitate. And yet we did this stem cell procedure, cord blood stem cells, and it rejuvenated within a week. I was not only walking, I competed at the Arnold Sports Festival and won another championship. I can tell you stem cells are a miracle, but not most companies don't know how to administer them. They're using highly expanded, diluted stem cells. They grind them. They ruin the stem cells. We get them from university. They're very careful. They're rich in what's called MSCs. We know what we're doing. We've done more stem cell treatments in California than anyone in the world. You can go to these Panama, very expensive $30,000 treatment places. We do stem cells. I get a vial for about $4,000. I do the treatment myself, get it done with the doctors about once every 6 months. As I age more, I plan to do it about once every 3 months. Why? Because it's life rejuvenating. The toughest cases sometimes don't respond to anything else, even neurological. Cerebral palsy children. I've seen Parkinson's. I've seen, especially Parkinson's, if you augment with testosterone pellets, then we see some results. But a lot of times these complex neurological diseases need multiple interventions based on the 7 pillars of health. And I think that we've now discovered with neurology that if we flood the body with your own bone marrow stem cells first, then inject cord blood, we're seeing even more remarkable results. Another pillar of health is hyperbaric oxygen. That works for acute injury, but CVAC, cyclic variations and adaptive conditioning, when you come to our facility, we take you to the closest facilities and you get to go through these 20-minute sessions, which goes up high altitude, drops at 1,000 feet per second, and rejuvenates your body and tissues.